Satnam, friends. This is video 1 of 2 for our January 2nd, 2019 40-day Kundalini Yoga Sadhana with a Kriya to open your wings. Kriya for lungs and circulation, preparatory exercises for deep pranayama, yogic breathing practices. Okay, and so this video 1 of 2 only need be viewed maybe once or twice or maybe 3 times, just so you can actually use it to support you in the technology. Because during the actual sadhana, the actual exercises in the set, I'm going to pretty much just go through all of the exercises one after the other from beginning to the end, so as to not have to have so many explanations, because we'll be doing the same exercises again and again. This way I don't have to withdraw your attention into the practical aspects of the science. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is I want to get to the beginning. We're going to go through the practical aspect of the meeting. So when we meet in the morning, we'll either have the harmonium playing Om Namo Gurudev Namo and sing together a little bhakti, or we'll chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo. The mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo means I bow to the divine wisdom of the universe, or the interconnectedness of all that is. Okay? And I bow to the teacher within that is realizing this more deeply. This sound current vibration that we chant helps to attune us to a vibrational field of what are called ascended masters, yogic scientists, awakened beings who no longer are in physical form, but their energetic frequency of peace and freedom, silence and liberation actually remains in the field. And that field draws like a magnet into our field with this mantra, this mantric science. So once we've chanted that 3 times, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, the next thing that we do is we chant what's called the Mangalacharan, Ad Guru Name, Jugat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. I bow to the primal pulse of the universe. I bow to the timeless pulse of the universe. I bow to the true pulse of the universe that I am. And I bow to the great, unknowable, unthinkable, unimaginably, beautifully wonderful pulse of the universe. This is called Mangalacharan, or bowing at the feet of the truth, bowing at the feet of the Guru. And really, the Guru is silence, silent truth of the interconnectedness of all that is, this matrix of love, this powerful, animating pulse that is present everywhere, always, forever. So then once we tune in with those 2 mantras in the morning, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a series of warm-ups. We're going to warm up the hamstrings. We're going to warm up the back muscles. We're going to warm up the kidney meridian. And we're going to relax what's called the life nerves. There's a nerve inside my leg. I'm actually just show you my leg right here. It's inside the middle of my leg. And when we open up that nerve in the leg, we actually have a natural anti-anxiety, you could say, but it's not an anti-anxiety, because in yogic science, there's only a pro-peace experience that echoes to the nerves. So we're going to open up those hamstrings. We're going to open up the lower back. And we're going to follow our own breath. Okay? That'll cue you throughout, even in video 2, even in the morning sets. Follow your own breath. This is really key, that my breath is going to be uniquely me. And that's really helped me to be a better guide for whosoever comes for yogic science meetings, is that I'm just really staying true to myself. And that's really hidden in my breath. It's really my own breath that's helping me to anchor into staying true to myself. So that's really key. In our set, after we've warmed up the hamstrings, we're going to get into something called stretch pose. So listen to the term when I say stretch pose. Okay, it's time for stretch pose. When we get into the meditation of stretch pose, this exercise is a full-on power trip. It's really, really powerful, extroverted, energized energy work. If a female body is in her menstrual cycle, whosoever does this sadhana, during the stretch pose and the menstrual cycle time, rather than do this very powerful firing your navel, laying on your back, firing your legs, I'd like you to do a bicycle maneuver. So bicycle maneuver is where you go opposite knee to the opposite elbow, opposite knee to the opposite elbow, opposite knee, opposite elbow. So you just do a little bicycling with long, slow, deep breathing, letting your core still get contracted, tightening, and loosening, but we're not fibrillating the core. We're not fibrillating the nerves, and actually bringing about a further contraction in the body in an already contractile time, which is what the menstrual cycle is. So that's really an important teaching to touch base on. I'm not going to say that about the menstrual cycle when we get to the actual video 2, and I'm not going to talk about it in the 40-day sadhana in the studio. Okay, I'm only going to say it now, that in the menstrual cycle of the lady, just let the body be in a break time, where it can still work the core. It could do some cycling, it could do some gentle, soft, deep breathing core work, but it's not going to fibrillate the navel. Okay, with that stretch pose. Now, when we get into the actual Kriya itself, the exercises are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, you are actually, in the actual exercises, going to discover how much energy you need to exert in things like the breath of fire. So when I'm saying inhale up, exhale down, that's going to be a totally personalized breath. And I'll be coaching you through that the whole time, that you really have to get in touch with what feels natural for you. You cannot follow my breath exactly by looking at me and expect a good result, although you can model your breath after my breath, because I'm just following a recipe card and have gone very deep into my skills with baking the cake on the recipe card. So that's why how you become a better yoga teacher is you follow the recipe card better, and you come to deepen your ability to intuitively then do the measurements. You don't need a spoon anymore, and you can bake the perfect cake. You don't need teaspoons or tablespoons. You just naturally are able to just start a pinch of this in, pinch of that in, and you're good to go with your cake. So that's really the goal, is that I help you become more natural with your breathing in these 40 days. So once we've done the breath work, then we're actually going to sit in silence. Okay? And I'll remind you this daily, that when we sit in silence at the end of the breath work, or the beginning of our sets, we did our warm-ups, we did our mantras, we've done our actual Kundalini yoga set, and we're going to sit in silence. And when we sit in the silence is not meaning no thoughts. It's never meant to be this time when, oh God, there's no thoughts. And sometimes maybe you will have very few thoughts. You come into a very, very deep, quiet experience where you're really, really calm and rested and just relaxed. But just as these words that are being spoken are thoughts, thoughts can be fine. They can be reflective of the silent ecstasy that's giving them their animation. So the only one who actually gets disturbed by a thought is a thought. So the practice and purpose of the silence is actually just to sit and observe the thought as the silent underlying knower of the thought. And we'll get better at that. You actually get better at that. You get better at not being so bothered by the thoughts that come up and then the thoughts about the thoughts that are coming up. And the desire is to be quiet. No problem. And how to be quiet? Just keep looking at the source of the thought, which in itself is not a thought. The source of the thought is silence. It's quiet. It's love. And then, so this, after we're done the meditation, then what's going to happen is we're going to put on a breath app. And this is another really important feature in this video, video 1. In the breath app, we're starting all together with a 4-8-8 breath in our breath work. 4-8-8 breath. Now, this body mind called Jitendra Das, I'm not going to do a 4-8-8 breath at all. I'm putting on a 4-8-8 breath as the neutral breath tone for the group. We're going to call it a 4-8-8 breath, and we're actually going to increase it to a 4-16-8 breath, which may be difficult for the group at the beginning, but will get easier as we go. Now, the thing about the breath is when I'm putting on these generic breath counts, you have a couple options. You can stay with the breath counts that I'm putting on and use them, or you can actually download the app that I'm going to use, which is called Pranayama. You can use this app and you can put on your own breath counts and figure out and establish what breath counts are best for you. I can help you with that in a one-on-one coaching session. I'm happy to coach anybody through this sadhana to help you get your breath deeper. And this is a very important aspect of the sadhana, is that you're able to regulate your breathing and feel what feels natural for you. So the 4 means 4 counts of inhalation. The 8 means 8 counts of retention. And then the 8 means 8 counts of exhalation. Now again, I want you to stay really focused with me. You might have to watch this video that's being recorded. There's a lot of information in this video. You might have to watch it 2-3 times. But the 4 count inhalation, 8 count retention, and 8 count exhalation are going to be, there is a goal, okay? The goal is that the breath is a continuous curve. So it never goes in like this up and down of like a peak and a valley of a heavy mountain. It never goes like fibrillating like that. The breath is going to get softer and smoother. It's going to get longer in duration. So the time gets longer breaths, softer, smoother. It gets deeper and fuller. So I want my lungs to take in more air. And then I want this to become more and more natural. So naturally, what will happen, okay, listen very carefully to this, is it is okay for you to do what one of my teachers calls pressing the breath. So pressing the breath is where you begin to actually change your counts. So then, okay, I notice I can go deeper. I started off with this generic 8 count inhalation, or inhalation of 4 counts, and then I'm holding my breath for 8, and then I'm exhaling for 8. Now I can start adding in a bit of space between my exhale and my next inhale. And then I can also start to maybe elongate my inhale, elongate the space between the retention, and elongate the exhale. And I can leave the track. I can leave the counting of the track. I don't stay on the track. I'm actually going to abdicate my connection. I'm going to leave the connection to the track, because the track is just to guide me into the breath. And then once I've left the track, I continue to allow a natural softening, deepening, smoothing of the breath, softer, deeper, smoother, and longer breath to happen. Okay? Once I've gotten that all done, everything is really, really done. I've done a really good thing for my body today. I started off with mantra, a burning desire to say, there really is only one creator, there really is only one creation, reveal this more deeply to me. Then I've bowed to the truth of the connection of all. And then I've warmed up my body to help it, prepare it for deeper lungs and circulation, deeper breathing. Then I sit and I meditate. I just be quiet for a bit. In the silence, I sit, I get relaxed, and I allow the body to get very relaxed. Some days you might notice, meditation is really hard. The mind is really busy. That's fine. At least you're doing it. You're sitting and you're observing, and you get sucked into the mind and you watch it. You actually get better at this. It's kind of neat. And then the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to go with this really sweet note of long, deep breathing, of inhales, retaining, exhales, and retaining. And once we're all done with that, we'll take our hands together in front of our hearts and we'll chant different versions of May the Long Time Sun Shine Upon You. That would be really the only thing that we're going to use this Sanatam Kaur version and use Sanatam Kaur music in the YouTube video, the next video number 2. But the I could talk about Kundalini yoga all day. But the actual morning routines at 7 in the morning, I'll be using many different versions of the Long Time Sun. So it's such a joy to be blessed with this technology of yogic science. I really hope that I can support some people in the world, anywhere in the world, with 40 days of deeper, deeper breath. I look forward to getting going tomorrow, January 2nd, day 1. Have a fantastic, fantastic day. Or wherever you, night, whatever time. Sadhana.